Hi, I'm Samantha. Welcome back to my channel. Okay, I have promised a kombucha phase 1, stage 1 video. And what I have here, I actually don't really have stage 1 because what I have here is some starter culture that I got from a local juice bar. I actually would have been better off to purchase it from a vendor who specializes in giving people like the exact amount of starter culture that they need, because what I got was from, like I said, a local juice bar, and it already had flavor in it from fruit, and it's a little more difficult to start your own culture off of like a second fermentation kombucha tea that has been flavored. It's really not as recommended, but I did it. I've been watching it really closely. It looks very healthy. My kombucha actually is kind of like, I've been messing with it, so it's at the bottom and there's some yeast and things under there. I'm gonna strain all that out when I make my new batch. I'm gonna use some of this tea from my starter. I'm gonna make a new batch. First, what I'm gonna do, since it's gonna take a little bit of time to get this stage going, is I'm gonna go ahead and put some water. I use filtered water because I'm not like super happy with my well water when it comes to making kombucha. I just want it to be really clean and really filtered. And so I'm just gonna take, this is a 2-cup measuring cup. I'm gonna throw it in the microwave just to warm it up. I don't put anything in the water at this stage so that I can quickly microwave it. So I'm gonna do that now. And I just threw it in there for like 2.5, 3 minutes. I'll go ahead and do 3. And we can go ahead and get the tea bags ready for the next step. The next step is going to be to add the tea bags to the hot water. It doesn't have to be boiling because then it just takes that much longer for your water to get down to temperature, because you can't add your scoby, which is a symbiotic culture of yeast and bacteria. You cannot add your scoby to boiling hot water because it will kill it. It's like a living thing. So I wait for my hot water to go down in temperature. Sometimes I'll throw an ice cube in it. I make my ice with filtered water too. So we'll do that when we get to that stage. So this is a gallon jug that I'm gonna make. I need 8 of these like regular size tea bags for that. So what I'll do is I'll use 6 black tea, and this is Newman's Own organic black tea. I buy this because it comes in large quantities. I can get it on Amazon. I'll give you links to this. And then the other 2 tea bags I'm gonna use is just a premium Japanese green tea. You do not wanna buy decaffeinated because the scoby ferments using the caffeine that's in the tea and the sugar that's in the tea. So a lot of the sugar that we're gonna be putting in this tea is going to get used up. You're not gonna have a lot of sugar in your end product. So don't worry so much about the sugar content. That scoby needs it to ferment the tea. So we're gonna use 2 of these. And I can go ahead and just unbag all of these while we're waiting for our water to heat up and all that good stuff. So there's 1. How are y'all doing today? It is, oh my goodness, it is a lovely day outside. It's beautiful. I actually want to be out in my garden right now, but it was getting to the point because I started this little starter a couple of weeks ago, and I don't know if you can tell, but there is a lot of scoby down there. It's like, and I'll show you when we get to that stage. I'll show you what it looks like kind of close up. Don't be put off by it because the finished product doesn't have scoby in it. It's just what does the job, okay? All right, 8 tea bags. I'm going to use a cup of sugar. Some people use honey. So our water is all heated up. So what we're gonna do gonna be pretty piping hot, so you're just gonna be really careful taking it out. Maybe get a pot holder or something to take it out of the microwave. Okay. And you can tell it is steaming hot. I could give myself a steam bath. And we're gonna let these little beauties, let me pick it up so you can see. We're gonna put these beauties in here for a few minutes. You can see it's already turning. It's gonna get really, really dark. So just for a few minutes, and then we'll toss out the tea. You can compost the tea, but you gotta remove the little staples. All right, so the next stage will be sugar, a cup of sugar per gallon. So I've got my little cup. Get this ready too. This is going to be our brewing container, and what we'll do, just to go ahead and explain a little bit, once we've got our tea and our sugar and we can put a couple ice cubes in there, once we get the sugar melted into the concentrate of tea, then we can put it in here, add some more water, and then finally add some of the starter culture. We'll need a cup and a half of starter culture, which is like this tea here, plus our beautiful little scoby at the bottom. Now, since I can't ship all of you a scoby to get you started, I will provide a link where you can get just a scoby if you have all of this other stuff. Or there's another option. You can purchase a kit. There's like deluxe kits that have like everything you're gonna need pretty much. Then they have smaller kits, or you can like pick and choose which things you need based off of like, maybe you already have the kitchen strainer. Because I strain my kombucha, especially before I drink it, because I don't want any like little floaty things. So just kind of take an inventory of some of the stuff I've talked about. I'll put it in the description box below too, so you can go through, see what you have, see what you need, and then follow the links to Amazon and you can get everything right there. And if you have a Prime account, of course, you get free shipping. So, all right, so that's that. Let's check out. Look how dark this is getting. Maybe like another minute on this or so, but already I can tell it looks really good. Then we'll add our sugar. Once we get everything in here, you're gonna wanna cover it with either some cheesecloth, which I'll show you. The cheesecloth is like really fine mesh. I'm not crazy about it. I feel like there's too many holes. You can get a finer cheesecloth. Or you can take some cotton, some really clean cotton, take a rubber band and do that. If you don't have a rubber band, a lot of the kits that I will link below do include the rubber band, so you don't have to worry so much about that. But what I've been using, because I'm out of rubber bands at the minute, I need to buy some more, is you can put your cheesecloth or your shirt or whatever. I usually double up on the cheesecloth. You do not want, you don't, let me show you. Look at the holes. I mean, I can see my thumb right through that. That leaves enough space for a fruit fly to get through. And what will happen is you will lose your entire batch if a fruit fly gets in, because it will lay eggs and then you will see babies, fruit fly babies, like little larvae. You do not want that. Once one gets in, that's it. You have to start completely over. So what I'm actually going to be using is some clean cotton from a shirt that, you know, I no longer use for wearing, but it's like very clean, gone through the washer. It's fine. You can see. So that has such fine holes, it's still breathable, but no fruit flies can get it. we've got our tea. I think we're pretty much ready to throw out all these bags. Be very careful because they will be really hot, especially if you've got really sensitive skin. You can take like a fork and kind of press the tea out. You don't have to get it all out. Okay, so now we're ready. It's still piping hot. I don't know if you can see the steam coming off of it. You know what? I think I forgot one of my tea bags. That's okay. It looks fine. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put in the sugar. Do not skimp on the sugar because your tea will not be able to properly ferment. The other thing is, I like to use organics where I possibly can. I mean, if you can't find organic tea or you're just not an Amazon person, you don't want to order it that way, Lipton is okay, but again, organics are better. Okay, so I'm just stirring. You can see all the sugar down there. We really want to get it as dissolved as we can. If it's not dissolved, the kombucha will still brew and eat up that scoby will eat that sugar up, but it's just easier if it's melted. So just keep stirring. There. I'm gonna go ahead and grab some ice cubes so we're ready for that stage. Okay, so I've got some ice cubes. I made these out of filtered water. If you've got good water in your house where you don't feel like it has an off taste or whatever, I have a well, so I just feel better about using filtered. A little more stirring. Because once that water cools down, whatever sugar crystals are left are gonna remain sugar crystals till the kombucha eats it. That looks almost, oops, that looks almost done. All right, I'm gonna cool it off. I'm gonna throw in 2 ice cubes. 2, all right. So that's that. Stir it around. And then again, I've got my filtered water here. All right, so let me test it. I put my finger in, it's still hot. I think I need 1 more ice cube. Let me grab 1 more. That ought to do it. We don't want our kombucha to be too hot or too cold. Somewhere in the middle, like room temperature-ish. Good to go. So when your kombucha, when you have everything put in here and you've got your lid on there, you want to put it somewhere where it's not like in the sunlight to where you're going to encourage bad things to grow, like mold. It's very, very, very rare for mold to grow. Honestly, I think the hardest thing to deal with is fruit flies. And if you've got good, good protection over the top, you're good. Don't mess with it too much. You're gonna let this thing sit for anywhere from like 4 to 7 days. If you really love a vinegary kind of flavor of kombucha, letting it go longer is gonna produce that. So let's test this one more time. I put 1 more ice cube in. Just stick my finger in. Honestly, that feels just about right. So whatever's left of this ice cube ought to do it. And especially since I'm going to be adding room temperature water. So whatever heat is left in this little amount here is going completely diluted by my room temperature water, and I'm gonna just get the rest of the sugar, poured extra water in this to get the rest of the sugar that might have been stuck to the bottom out. Okay, so let me adjust this down to where you can see a little bit better. Oops, sorry. Okay. Let's do the next one. More filtered water. And I'm just gonna bring it up to somewhere about there, maybe a little bit less so I can add in that starter culture. I'm gonna use my strainer and go ahead and pour in what I need to pour in. So I'm not adding to the meaty bits that are gonna go in. So, oh, there went one of my cultures. Okay. Yeah, I don't need any more water because between the starter, that's like the perfect level right there. So this, let me get like, it's gonna drip everywhere, so I'm trying to get that is my scoby. It's like a little bit of a gelatinous mass, and it's a scoby, symbiotic culture of yeast and bacteria. Obviously you wanna have very clean hands. I started with clean hands. The only thing on my hands is stuff I used. I actually have 2 scobies here. Stuff I used to make this. So all of this brown stuff at the bottom of my strainer is the yeast that was produced during the process. So that is not a problem. You are gonna see that. That's why we use the strainer before you drink it. Not that it would hurt you. It's not gonna hurt you. So just rinse all this yeast off my hands. All right, so we have a tiny little starter culture at the top of this, so this might take a little bit longer because scobies can get really thick. Every time you brew, you're gonna have a whole new layer of scoby. So I may need to let this go just a hair longer. I'm gonna put this right over top like that. Tie on my string so that no little creatures can get in there and take a bath. And that's the main thing I watch for. Now, you're going to see, like I said, you're gonna see brown yeast. What else are you gonna see? You should not see, you'll know you have mold, which I'm telling you, it would be weird to have mold because I've never had that problem with this. Mold develops like hair-like things that come off of it. Like if you think you have mold, give it a few more days and just watch, and you'll see these like stringy hair-like things growing, and you'll see like blue or black. I have never seen it. I mean, you could probably find pictures of that online, but I've never seen it doing it just the way I just showed you. So I'm gonna stick it back in this corner next to this other culture that I started as a backup scoby, because if a fruit fly did get in, I'm gonna need a backup. Again, I don't have too many problems, but I just like having a backup in case I want to give one to a friend or whatever the case. It's just nice to have a backup scoby. Maybe you want to start a second culture because you drink more than a gallon, or you want to keep a continuous flow. But that is the end of stage 1. Let me adjust here so I'm not, okay, there we go. That's the end of stage 1. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna let this go 5 to 7 days. At the 7th day, I'm gonna be back and I'm gonna show you the second stage of fermentation. This stage is completely optional. I like it because I like to add fruit in with mine, and this next time I'm going to experiment with some organic cranberry. So last time I did blueberry and strawberry, and the blueberry was amazing. I totally recommend organic blueberry. Awesome. So I'll be back soon for second stage and to do a little taste test of first stage and see how it went. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back soon. Bye.